Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Isabel. I am the Customer Support and Education Leader here at Pipefy, and I'm here today to present Pipefy's advanced features and tell you a bit about how you can use them to optimize your processes. For those of you who are new to Pipefy, Pipefy is an online process management tool focused on helping you manage your processes and make them more efficient without technical knowledge or depending on IT support. What sets Pipefy apart from the rest of the alternatives out there is that it enables you to easily set up your process without spending months in planning or investing tons of money in infrastructure. To help you create efficient process, besides our basic structure, we offer several advanced features that can help you save time and money. Pipefy's advanced features are add-ons to the basic structure, besides the pipes, phases, and fields. They're the tools we offer to help you power up your processes and boost your team's productivity. We currently offer 10 advanced features. They're very different when it comes to complexity levels and uses. So before we get to exploring them, I'd like to give you a quick overview about some of them by grouping them into four groups: pipe performance optimization features, card creation, automated actions, and email. So the list of our features is here. It's automation, connections, field conditionals, email templates, public form, reports, database, email messaging, and email inbox and SLA alerts. I'm going to break them down into these four groups I mentioned just to make it easier for you guys to understand how they work and what you can use them for. Into this category, I've grouped the features we believe that to be the ones that help boost the performance of your pipes more directly, whether by helping you save time or by helping you keep closer track of your SLAs and KPIs. The automation feature is one of my personal favorites. In a nutshell, it enables you to create automated actions based on an event action logic. When a specific event happens, such as a card becoming overdue, a specific action is triggered, such as it being moved into the next phase to send a follow-up email. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you can do with automations in a bit, but you can save a lot of money by automating actions that don't need to be performed by a person in your process. The second one is field conditionals. So this feature enables you to create conditional logic in your pipes form and phases to show or hide fields based on the information in one or more fields. For example, if you have a drop-down field for reasons for why people have canceled a cable TV plan, and you have the other option. You need to have a short text field for them to specify what the other is, right? And you only need that field to be displayed when they select other. So you can use field conditionals to hide that field when any of the other options is selected, or show it when other is selected. The SLA control or alerts is what helps you control the amount of time cards remain active in your pipe. There are three types of alerts: late, expired, and overdue. Each of them is related to a different time aspect. The expired alert is related to the total period of time a card can remain active, so it's not in a final phase in a pipe. You can set it up inside your pipe settings. The late alert is related to the total amount of time a card can remain in a phase, so it's your phase SLA. Each of your phases can have a different SLA because it's set up inside the phase settings. And last but not least, the overdue alert. This is the only one that's related to a specific date. It's going to be related to your card's due date. The alerts are very useful to help keep track of your process SLAs, and they can also be used to trigger automation actions. So they're very useful. The reports help keep track of your process performance and KPIs. There are currently two types of reports in Pipefy: the company reports that enable you to view the general aspects of the cards in more than one pipe, So in the company reports, you can only see the title of the cards, due date, labels, assignee, creation date, etc. And there's also the pipe reports. In the pipe reports, you can see the information in all the fields in all your pipes phases in the form of a table. The reports let you select the data you want to view, so you can select which of the fields you want to view in this table. And you can also filter the information based on uh, the phase the card is at, the value of a deal, etc. You can also save your reports to view them whenever you need and use them to export information from your pipes. The database is a storage system where you can create data tables to use in your pipes. It's very useful to store information you use more than once in your process, such as employee registration, customer records, product list, etc. You can create fields, just like in the pipe, to add different information to your databases, such as names, phone numbers, emails, etc. The advanced features listed under this category, as you may have guessed, are the ones that can be used to create cards, either manually or automatically. The public form is a public version of your pipe start form. You can make your form public to share it with people from outside your pipe or even your company, such as sharing a satisfaction survey with your customers or sharing a purchase request pipe with your entire company, even if they're not Pipefy members. You can customize the public form to make it look better and correspond to your company's visual ID. I will tell you more about the customization options in a bit. The connections feature can be used to literally connect a pipe to another pipe or to a database. There are two options for creating this link, the connections feature and the connection field. The basic difference between them is that the connection is related to the entire pipe and therefore can be accessed from all the phases in your pipe. The connection field, being a field, belongs to a specific phase and can only be seen in the phase it's created in. Inside the connections, there's a specific advanced setting called autofill that exists in both connections and connection fields that enables them to be set up to be auto-filled with information from the fields in the origin pipe. For example, if you're creating a purchase approval request from your purchase pipe, you can automatically fill in the fields with the name of the person requesting the purchase, value, and reason that were filled in the form of the initial process itself. So you're not going to need to fill in all the fields again manually when you can set up them to be auto-filled. The email inbox feature is the feature that enables automatically creating cards by receiving emails. Each pipe has a unique email address, and Pipefy enables users to correspond the information in the email with the fields in the pipe's form, so that every time a new email is received, a new card is created. And last, there are two automated actions for creating cards. So you can either create a new card or create a new connected card. In the automated actions section, we have features that are big time savers. They help your team save a lot of time and consequently a lot of money by automating actions that don't necessarily need to be executed manually. Besides automation, which I already explained, we have the email templates. Email templates is our email automation feature. They're messages that you can create to be sent either manually or automatically from your pipes phases. Pipefy enables you to create customized emails using Markdown or HTML and also dynamic content, so you can use the data from the fields in your pipe, such as customer name, email, and etc., to create custom emails to send to your customers or the people that are receiving your emails. Besides creating cards with the email inbox and sending automated emails with the email templates, Pipefy offers a feature that enables users to send emails manually from inside the cards. Each card has a unique email address. You can use the email messaging feature to send and receive emails directly from within the card, centralizing all the communication inside Pipefy. It's especially useful in processes in which you may need to communicate with users from outside of Pipefy, such as asking customers for more information about their help desk ticket or asking suppliers for quotes, etc. Okay, now it's time we get to our practical examples. Unfortunately, we won't have time to explore all of the advanced features in depth and explain to you guys how to set them up in today's webinar. So what we'll do instead is explore a couple of processes to show as many features as possible, setting up a few of them together, okay? If you have any question or if there's any feature you'd like to learn more about, please send it in the chat and I'll try to get to it at the end of the webinar, okay? We're going to start by creating a card via a public form. As I mentioned, this is a purchase process form. Let's suppose that not everyone in your company uses Pipefy. We still need to make our public form, our purchase pipe available so they can create purchase requests. So we made the form public. The first step for filling up our form here is you can see that there's a field here where it says select your record. This field here is a connection field that is connected to an employee database. When we click on it, it's going to open a list of existing employee records. I'm going to type down my name here and I can select my record right here. When we create a connection or a connection field, we have the option of letting it create new records, search for existing records, which is the case of this one here, or do both of the actions. So you can either search or create records. Now that we selected here our record, we need to select how many items we want to purchase. You can see that we don't have a field for specifying what we want to purchase. So when we click on here, when we select one, it's going to display one field. So this is a field conditional here. When I select 2, it displays 2. And when I select 3, it displays 3 fields here. So I'm only going to put 1 here. I'm going to select. I'm going to save and submit. Once I finish, the card is created directly in my purchase process pipe. So let's close our form and open here our purchase process pipe. You can see that the card was created right here. So let's take a look at our form to see how I made it public. To open the form, we click here and the plus to open the form. And you can see we have an option here that says share. When we click on it, there's this little switch here that it's as a standard, it comes turned off, but when you turn it on, it's going to automatically generate this URL here, which is the URL you can share with other people so they can access your form. When you click on this button here, customize your public form, it takes you to the page where you can customize your form. So you can upload an image here. So you can upload your company logo. You can change the form title, which is this one here, the description, the title of the button that goes down here, the brand color, so it's the color of the button, the background image. We can't currently upload images. We can only select from an image bank from Unsplash. So you can search for the images you want to use as a background image. Then the image that is the message that is displayed after you send the form. And also for users in the enterprise plan, you have the option of showing or not showing the Pipefy branding here in the lower right corner. Also in our form, as I mentioned to you guys, we have field conditionals. The field conditionals can be set up both in the form and phases of our pipe. In our case here, we had them in our form. So to set them up, we come up here, click on the 3 dots, then on Setup Field Conditionals. And then for this for this form, I had four different conditionals. So one for uh, when the field is blank, because I wanted to hide all the three description fields. One for when one is selected, one for when two, and one for when three. Let me select this one so I can explain to you guys how this feature works. So basically, we give our scenario a name. This is internal use only. Then we create the scenario. The scenario is our condition. So what we want to happen for the fields to be hidden or displayed. In this case, we want the field how many items you need to purchase to be equal to 1. But um, we could add more fields, so we could add different conditions to the same scenario or create different scenarios for the same conditional to be applied to. Then we can specify what we want to happen. So we want this specific field to be displayed, we want this to be shown, and the other ones to be hidden. In the case of our conditional, we have four different scenarios, so we don't use this part down here that says if conditionals are false. But let's suppose if we had a yes or no situation that only had two situations, it would be like um, if the field is equal to no, hide field, or if scenario is false, show field. We could just create a simple scenario for this situation. But when you have three or more scenarios, you need to create separate ones and don't use the if conditionals are false part. Right after our card was created, an automated email was sent out. You can see here that we have the email templates part, and it was sent right after the card was created, informing that the request was received. The email templates are created in the settings right here. So to create a new email template, we go up here to the gear icon, then on email templates. And this is where we come to create the email templates. When we create a new email, we give it a name, which is going to be used internally only. Then the subject, which is going to be displayed for the person that gets the email. Then the body of the email that can be customized using the text editor here, or Markdown, or some HTML codes. And we can also use dynamic content. Dynamic content is a feature that enables us to use information from the fields in our pipe in the email. For example, entity here is what contains the property. For example, we have the phases here, and the properties are going to be the fields. So I have phase start form, and in the property, I can select all the fields in my start form. I can also select the fields inside the connection field. So I can select the name field from inside my employee record. And then all I have to do is copy this value here and paste it where I want it to be displayed in my email. After we create the email, we need to set it up in the phase. In our case, it was sent from the screening phase. So we click here on phases, then on screening to open the screening phase settings. Then we go down here and select email templates. You can see that there's already an email set up here, and we click on it. When setting up an email template, we can select from the emails we have created in the previous option. The information in these fields, so from name, from email, and to email, can either be static, so I can put a fixed name or email, or I can use the dynamic content In this case here, I also used the information from inside the record. So I used the email from inside my record. And remember how I mentioned that the emails can be set up to be sent either manually or automatically. So this email was configured to be sent whenever a card enters this phase. So it was sent automatically. Let me show you guys the email. So there you go. This is the email that was sent to me right after we created the request. It has dynamic content here, so it has my name and what needs to be purchased, which I filled in the form, my department, and that's it. I don't have a lot of formatting in this email. Also within the phase settings, we have, remember how I mentioned the late alert, which is the phase SLA. Here's how you set it up. Here's where you set it up. So if you only want phases to be, if you only want cards to be in the screening phase for 2 days, you can establish here 2 days, and if they exceed that time, they're going to be marked as late in this phase. Now I'm going to move our card into the approval phase because in the approval phase, I have created an automation that automatically creates cards in the purchase approval pipe. So we have to move it to quotation. And then move it to approval. Even though it's automated, we need to create a connection between the pipes. To create a connection between the pipes, so the connection was created before the automation, it's important that we always remember that to create automation, to create connections before creating automations to create connected cards. So to access the connection settings, we click on the gear icon here in the upper right corner. Then on the connections options, and you can see I have a connection here to the purchase approval pipe. When I click on it, we can see that it's connected to the purchase approval pipe. Its function is to search and create cards. It's a single entry because it only creates one purchase approval card per purchase request card. And we also have the advanced options. These advanced options are very good if you want to restrict the movements based on creating connected cards or finishing the connected cards. So you can establish that you need to create connected cards before moving this card to the next phase or before finishing this card. And you can also establish that all connected cards must be done before moving this card to the next phase or before the parent card can be done. The autofill is the one I mentioned to you guys that autofills the fields based on the information in the parent pipe. The parent pipe is the pipe where the connection is set up, and the child pipe is the pipe it's connected to. This is some specific wording we use to make it easier to understand. So when we switch this on, it opens a new window where we can match up the fields in the form of our destination pipe to the fields in our origin pipe. So we can click here to select the fields, and it's going to show the fields that can be matched. So this one is a connection field. It's only going to show us the other connection fields. So I'm going to select here. And there you go. If I come here to the approval, I also have a connection field that was created before the automation that if I click on it here, it's auto-filled as well. So you can see that it comes with the record, what needs to be purchased, the value, and an automatically established maximum analysis date. So you don't need to fill in any information, just hit create card. Let me open the automation to show you guys how we created this automation. So here is our card. for the wireless mouse. Okay, so this is the card in the approval purchase approval pipe. So we can click on it to go to the pipe. So we can click on view record and it's going to take us to the purchase approval pipe. So we can see it, the connected card that was created via the automation. You can see here in the card history that says that it was created by PipeBot. So this means that it was created by an automation. And it also mentions that it's connected to the card in the purchase process pipe. So to access the automation feature, we need to go back to our company dashboard. And we're going to select the option here, Apps and Integrations. Then we have the Automations option here. You can see I have many different automations here already. But down here, I have the one for creating approval requests. So what I did was select an event. My event was when a card is moved in pipe purchase process to the phase approval. I wanted to create a new connected card in pipe purchase approval with this connected card setup. So when setting up the connected card, we can either use dynamic value or fixed value. So we can write down the information we want, if we want to be fixed or if we want to be dynamic. Let me open, create a new automation so I can show you guys all the events and actions we have. So when we go to create a new automation, these are the events we have. So when a card is created, so your automation is going to be triggered whenever a new card is created in a specific pipe. Second one is when a card is moved. So when a card is moved to a specific phase of your pipe. When a field is updated, so when a specific field, we're going to select the field is updated, so it's filled or updated. And you can also add conditions to specify if you only want a specific alternative to be filled. So you only want the automation to be triggered when the user selects yes. You can set a condition for that. When all connected cards are moved to a phase, the recurring activity. So you can create a recurring activity to create a card every day at 9 a.m. and when an alert is triggered. So whenever your cards become late, they're moved to a follow-up phase. Let's select here when a card is created. And we have the actions here. So we can choose the actions to create a new card, create a new connected card. This one that has the restriction that you have to create a connection between the pipes before creating the automation. Move the parent card, so the cards need to be connected for this one to work. Update a field's value. It only updates the values in fields in the same pipe. Or move card. Okay, let me move back to our purchase process. Also here in our purchase process, we have our reports. Remember how I told you we have two types of reports? I'm going to explore the pipe reports here with you guys. In the reports, we can select what type of information we want to be displayed. So when we click on this icon here, we have a list of the general aspects of our cards. So this is the information we have in all pipes. So ID, title, current phase, labels, etc. And down here we have the information from the fields in our phases. So the fields in our start form, the fields in our phases, etc. Here I'm going to select a couple of fields to be displayed. When I select, you can see that when I selected a value field, so the total amount is a currency field, it displayed this option here. It has this icon here that it shows the fields that can be used to create formulas with. Sorry. The formulas enable us to show us the sum of these fields, the average value, the minimum, or the maximum value. Let's suppose we want to know the average value of the requests created this month. So we can select average here. And then here on the left side, we can create filters for the information. So we can come here and select created at current month. And then it's going to filter only cards that were created during this current month. We could also filter by any other information. So by department is, and select any of departments. And we can also save the reports so we can check them whenever we need and use them to export information. So when we click here on export, we can either download the information directly or have it emailed to the email we have registered into Pipefy. Also, before we get into our second pipe, let me show you guys the database I mentioned before. I showed you guys the connection field that links our purchase process pipe to the database. So this is, we have two databases here. We have our employees database. And as I mentioned, it is a data table. So we have the columns here are fields. We can add fields to it just like to a pipe. So name, email, department, ID, status. And we can either create the records directly from inside the table or from the connection field or connection from the pipe. So you can see here that we have the settings and the field editor and the members. So we can also have private tables that only people that are invited into the tables can access, just like you can have private pipes. Now we're going to move on to our second and last example, which is our customer help desk pipe. In this pipe, we're going to use two of our email features. So we're going to use the email inbox and the email messaging. Let me open the customer help desk here. So to open the email inbox settings, we click here on the gear icon, then on start form, and we scroll down until we find the email inbox box. We can click on it's already enabled, and once we enable it, we can see the pipe's email address. We're going to copy it because we're going to send an email to this pipe. And then what we did was match the fields, so match the information from the email to the fields in our pipe. I have created fields specifically for this email. So what we need to do though is have specific field types to match with each information. So sender name, recipients, copied recipients, and subject need to be short text fields. Sender email address needs to be an email field. Body needs to be a long text, and attachments need to be an attachment field. Also, if you have, you can also use, if you have a specific email, for example, support@yourcompany.com, you can use redirect from your email to the pipe email to create cards. So let's create a card here. I'm going to copy the pipe email. Just going to copy and paste it here. And I'm going to send the email to my pipe. Let's move back to our inbox. So you can see that my card was created here. And when I open it here, you can see that we have the subject of the email, the name of the sender email. I don't have any copied. And I also have the body of the email. What I can do is click here on email. You can see that my email is here and I can hit reply so I can send a reply to my email. You can see that my email is automatically filled in here because this card was created via an email. And this here is the card's unique email. Each card has a unique email address, and this is how it looks like. It has many different numbers and letters. So I'm gonna send it down here. And you can see that we have one email that was received and one email that was sent. And when I go back to my inbox, there you go. My email is right here. So the card was created via email, and we can do all the communication inside the card. We don't need to go to the inbox and then back to the pipe. We can do everything inside the card. So if you guys have any additional question or specific use cases you'd like to learn more about, feel free to contact us via the in-app chat or writing to support@pipefy.com. Thanks again for joining. Have a great rest of your day.